The Grand Chapati Contest. In the biggest, grandest palace in India, there once lived a king who hardly ever got angry. He did not get angry when the queen polished his golden crown with black polish, or when she used his silver hairbrush to brush the royal dog. He did not get angry when the royal servants forgot to fill his satin pillow with fresh rose petals every night, or to line his stiff, silver shoes with the softest feathers every morning. There was only one thing that made the king angry. And that was when he was not served perfectly round, soft, fluffy chapatis for his meals. The king loved eating chapatis so much that he wanted chapatis for breakfast, lunch and dinner every day. That was why the queen was most worried when the royal kitchen's chief chapati cook left his job and went away to the Himalayas to become a holy man. Who will make chapatis, just the way the king likes them? Perfectly round, soft and fluffy chapatis, the queen asked the remaining 99 cooks in the royal kitchen. Not me, said the royal sweet maker. I can make sweets from milk and honey, and sweets from dates and almonds. I can even make sweets from cactus flowers and pine needles, and sweets from rose thorns and blackberry prickles. But to make chapatis, just the way the king likes them, perfectly round, soft, fluffy. Forgive me, your highness, that's something I just cannot do. The remaining 98 cooks had the same answer for the queen. So the poor, worried queen decided to hold a grand chapati contest. She would invite everyone in the kingdom to take part in the contest. Whoever made the best chapatis would be given a bag of gold coins as a prize and offered a job as the chief chapati cook in the royal kitchen. That morning, the king came smiling down for breakfast. He kept smiling till he took one bite of the chapati on his plate, and then his face crumpled up in disgust. Yuck, said the king. This is the worst chapati that I have ever eaten. It's as stiff as my royal shield and as hard as the golden plate I'm eating on. I will certainly punish the cook who made this terrible chapati. He picked up the chapati and flung it out of the window. Don't be angry, dear, said the queen, hoping no one would tell the king that she was the one who had made his breakfast chapati that morning. I will be getting a new chief chapati cook today. I am holding a grand chapati contest. The person who makes the best chapati will be given a bag of gold coins as the prize, and also the job of chief chapati cook in the royal kitchen. I have sent out the royal messengers with their drums and trumpets to tell all the people in our kingdom about the grand chapati contest. Out in the towns and villages of the kingdom, the royal messengers in their robes of pink and green and purple were telling the people about the grand chapati contest. Grand chapati contest at the palace today. Grand chapati contest at the palace today, they shouted, banging their drums and blowing their trumpets as they walked through the streets. Whoever makes the best chapati will win a bag of gold coins and be given a job as the chief chapati cook in the royal kitchen. In one of the villages of this kingdom, there lived a little girl called Meena. When Meena heard about the grand chapati contest, she wanted her mother to take part. Meena's father was a peanut seller, and he sold peanuts that he roasted on a little clay stove on his little pushcart. Meena's family was very poor, and the only thing they could afford to eat was plain chapatis with boiled peanuts, or plain chapatis with peanut chutney, or sometimes just plain chapatis with a slice of raw onion. Since they didn't eat much else, Meena's mother always took great care to make her chapatis round, soft and fluffy. Meena thought her mother made the best chapatis in the kingdom and was sure to win the prize. Since the contest was to begin soon, Meena's father gave Meena and her mother a ride to the palace on his little pushcart. At the palace grounds, there were already hundreds of cooks busy at work making the most amazing chapatis Mina and her parents had ever seen. Butterfly-shaped chapatis and spinach-flavored chapatis. Chapatis stuffed with raisins, chapatis layered with butter. Chapatis that smelt of cardamom and chapatis that were colored with saffron. Chapatis as soft and fine as muslin that you could actually see through, and one chapati that was so large that it required 4 people to carry it. How could her mother possibly make a chapati that was better than all these wonderful chapatis? Mina wondered, feeling very worried indeed. The other cooks had very special cooking vessels too. One cook had a glass rolling pin, one had a moonstone rolling board. One cook had brought along 2 wrestlers to help knead the chapati dough, while another had come with his pet elephant wearing silk socks, so that it could stamp the balls of dough into chapatis. Soon it was time for the king and queen to choose the best chapati. They sat at a special table under a striped silk tent at one end of the garden, and every person who had made a chapati was to give it to the king to taste. The king refused to taste the butterfly-shaped chapati when it was brought to him, saying, "I like only round chapatis. This color is awful," he said about the green, spinach-flavored chapati, which was taken to him next. "Smells of elephant's toes," he said when he sniffed at another chapati. Next came the fluffiest puffiest chapati Mina had ever seen. The cook had used a special pump to fill extra air into the chapati after it was made. The king's eyes brightened. Mina was sure the cook, who had made this chapati, would win the prize until the fluffiest puffiest chapati rose up from the plate and floated off up and away into the air. The cook, who had made a chapati so soft and fine that one could actually look through it, carried it carefully to the king. As she neared the table, a petal from one of the flowers in the garden fell on the soft, fine chapati, and it tore into half. "I can't eat torn chapatis," said the king. Then the king was given the chapati filled with nuts. Cold and hard, the king complained when he tasted it. "Too hard," he grumbled as he pushed away another chapati after just one bite. Indeed, most of the delicious chapatis made by the cooks had turned cold and hard before the king could taste them. This gave Mina an idea. She asked her father to push his cart as close to the silk tent as possible. She asked her mother to sit on the cart and make the chapatis on the little clay stove kept on it. And just as the chapati Mina's mother made was ready, Mina's father pushed the cart right next to the king's table, and the perfectly round, hot, soft, fluffy chapati was slipped straight off the stove and on the king's golden plate. Said the king, when he took his first bite of the chapati. He couldn't say much more, as he was already eating yet another perfectly round, hot, soft, fluffy chapati that Mina's mother had made. Then another. And another. Till he had eaten 15 chapatis in all. "These are the best chapatis I have ever eaten," said the king. "Rounder, hotter, softer, and more fluffy than any chapati I have ever tasted." So the king and queen declared Mina's mother the winner of the grand chapati contest, and gave her the prize of a bag of gold coins. Mina's mother was also made the chief chapati cook in the royal kitchen. With the money she earned, they would be able to eat more than just chapatis and peanuts every day. As for Mina's father, he had to buy himself a new cart on which to roast and sell peanuts. That was because his old cart was painted red and gold, and put right next to the royal dining table so that Mina's mother could make hot, soft, round, fluffy chapatis for the king every day, using the little clay stove on the cart.